Alright, hello, YouTube. It is Zane Movie Reviews, and today I'm here to do a review of this film right here, The Mask, with Jim Carrey. I have it on this 4-film favorites Jim Carrey collection, which includes The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, Yes Man, and The Majestic. But I'm here to review The Mask today. Now, The Mask is one of my all-time favorite Jim Carrey films. Let me scoot in this chair over. Yeah. This is one of my all-time favorite Jim Carrey films of all time. I love The Mask. Without a doubt, one of my favorite comedies of all time. Let me talk about it. So, The Mask, if you've never seen The Mask, well, you're missing out in my opinion, because The Mask is that good. And also, there's something about, also, all 4 of these movies are 4 of my favorite Jim Carrey films. I really believe it, so. Um, anyways, and I'm gonna, before I get on with the actual review, I was gonna mention that I'm going to do a, review, sorry, I was going to mention that if you guys have not ever in your whole life seen The Mask, I said that earlier, but I want to put it out, go check it out. You'll love it. Anyways, The Mask stars Jim Carrey. Let's see. I'm trying to think of the other people. Okay, sorry, it stars Jim Carrey. Stars Jim Carrey, Cameron Diaz, Amy Yayek. Some of these people I don't know how to pronounce. Sorry, Peter Green, and a bunch of others in this movie, and it is directed by Charles Russell. And this is one of the most funny movies I've ever seen in my life. This movie is so hilarious. So it's based off a comic book from what I know, and it stars Jim Carrey in this movie, as I said, with Cameron Diaz and a bunch of other people. And Jim Carrey's character is this low-life guy. He works as like a, he's like a low-life type guy, but he changes his face and to look like this guy. The Mask has this green-looking face, walks around, and holy hell, this movie is just so hilarious to the brim, filled with spectacular, funny moments in this movie. This is when Jim Carrey was at his best. Not that Jim Carrey isn't good nowadays. I think Jim Carrey still is at the top of his game. But he's not as good as he used to be, I'll say that. But this is in the 90s, the mid-90s and stuff, when he was at the top of his game. And this movie it's just always been a classic movie. You ask anyone, what's one of your favorite Jim Carrey films, they're always going to mention The Mask, because The Mask is that good. It's just, there are a couple minutes in this movie where I was kind of bored. There's only like 10 minutes I was bored with this movie, and I was like, come on, this is a little bit boring, whatever. But the majority of The Mask is a fun time. Jim Carrey, one of his better performances he's ever given in a movie. And Cameron Diaz does a great job. This is actually Cameron Diaz's very first movie she's ever done. Cameron Diaz's most recent films, she's done like Annie and all this stuff she's done, and Sex Tape have been awful movies. I just can't stand any of the more recent Cameron Diaz films, but I love Jim Carrey. Is just amazing. I'll have to say my opinions for Jim Carrey in a video. I'm gonna do a top 10 Jim Carrey list sometime soon. So yeah, The Mask. What can I say about it? It's a classic movie, funny movie, great movie. 9 out of 10 from The Mask. I love this movie. And also, I'm gonna do a ranking right now as well, if you don't mind, of my top 5 favorite DC and top 5 Marvel films along with this review. So here we go. So, I'm gonna start with DC. So number 5 favorite DC film is Superman the movie. This is really the first superhero film we ever had, and it is just a great movie. I love Christopher Reeve's performance in this film. It's so iconic. I love Michael Keaton, Marlon Brando, everyone in this movie just does a great job, and it is just a fantastic movie. Number 4 is going to be the original Batman film with Michael Keaton from 1989. Phenomenal movie. The very first Batman movie we ever got. I love this movie to the brim. The sequel, however, Batman Returns, isn't as good, but I still really enjoy that as well. So that is Batman. Number 3 is going to be Superman 2. This is a sequel that is better than the original, and it captivates its audiences so well, and it's just a phenomenal film. I love this movie. As I said, General Zod, this movie is great. Just the whole thing is just a great movie. Number 2 is going to be The Dark Knight Rises. The Dark Knight Rises is a great epic conclusion to the Dark Knight series. It's just so riveting, so exciting, so amazing. I love it to the brim. It's awesome. And number 1, no surprise, is going to be The Dark Knight for my favorite DC film. Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker is so iconic at this point. Everyone can say how good he is as the Joker. And the movie itself is just fantastic. I love this movie it's just amazing. one of my favorite movies of all time. Alright, now let's go on to Marvel. These are my top 5 favorite Marvel films. So at number 5 is going to be the original Iron Man 1. Iron Man 1 was a great way to start off the Avengers craze we have nowadays. And Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3, even though they're good, I don't think they're great like this, like the first Iron Man movie. Even though they're good, they just don't live up to Iron Man 1. You know, I just love Iron Man 1. It is just a phenomenal movie. Robert Downey Jr. was a great choice. He went through a little hiatus. He had some problems going on financially and everything, and just wasn't doing so good and everything. If you don't know what happened to Robert Downey, go look that stuff up. But anyways, great movie. It was the first Avengers-related film we ever had that was in the Avengers-related world, and a phenomenal movie. Alright, number 4 is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy. This movie is just so cool. It's a bunch of characters from Marvel that not a lot of us knew of, and they did such a great job. Chris Pratt and a bunch of other people in this movie. It's just a phenomenal movie. I love this movie to death. It is just so cool. It's a great space odyssey film. I can't wait for the sequel, Guardians of the Galaxies 2, when that comes out. So yeah, definitely a great film, Guardians of the Galaxies. Number 3 is Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is Spider-Man. As much as I love Spider-Man 1, I do believe Spider-Man 1 is a little campy at moments. But the sequel, Spider-Man 2, upped its game up so well. You know, you have the great performances by Alfred Molina, Tony Maguire does a great job, Kirsten Dunst, James Franco, everyone in this movie does a great job, and the train sequence with Doc Ock is one of my favorite scenes in a superhero film. It's so cool. Sadly, Spider-Man 3 just was a failure and didn't do so. It was a failure, and it was bad. You know, and I don't know. That would probably be on one of my top 5 worst. If I did top 5 worst, Spider-Man 3 would be on that list, because I don't like Spider-Man 3. It's bad. Alright, number 2 is Ant-Man. This is the more recent movie, and Ant-Man is, not only is it a great action movie, it's hilarious. Paul Rudd, it was a great casting as Ant-Man. I love everything about it, you know, just the whole thing, and it's just such a funny movie. Michael Pena in this movie, cracking jokes every 5 seconds, was just amazing. You know, when I saw this movie, it's just fantastic. Ant-Man, what can I say about it? It's amazing. And my number 1 favorite Marvel film of all time is The Avengers. The Avengers is just, as much as I loved the sequel, Age of Ultron, that would probably be somewhere in my top, if I wouldn't think it's actually, hard to say, but I don't know where I'd put Age of Ultron. It would be somewhere in the top 10 or 15 list, Age of Ultron would. But Avengers 1 is just one of those movies that I'm so glad it did when it did. It's a phenomenal film. I've reviewed Avengers on my channel if you want to go back and look that and check that video out. But I love Avengers. It's a great film. Alright, so thanks for watching my kind of short review of The Mask and my top 5 favorite DC and Marvel movies. And again, The Mask, I gave a 9 out of 10 for The Mask. And again, if you've never seen The Mask, go see it. Comment below if you've seen The Mask before and tell me what you think of it, because I'm pretty sure you like it if you've seen it or you love it or whatever, because it's a great film. One of Jim Carrey's best. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye.